Hi guys, and welcome to this video. My name is Seki, and in this video I'll be giving you tips for exam preparation and also to increase your exam performance. Now to this day I have sat loads of exams. I'm a pharmacist, so I've gone through all the GCSEs, A-levels, university. I do have a master's degree, so I promise you I have sat so many exams. I've passed some of them, I have failed some of them, and what I'm going to be sharing with you is some of the lessons that I learned along the way. And this is so important because exam preparation and performance is literally how we are judged on how much success we achieve in life. And I hope that these tips and tricks help you to achieve the goals and the dreams that you have in school or outside school, because some of you may be doing a professional career like a lawyer or a doctor or a pharmacist. Some of them have professional exams, so these tricks are actually applicable to any kind of exam, not just from school. So in today's video we're going to be starting with exam preparation or revision. So the number one thing that you have to do before you even start revising is prepare your space. Organize your study space. You need to have a room or a space in your house where you revise. Now, some of you might be like me. I grew up in a 3-bed house and there was 5 of us, me and my siblings, plus my parents. So there wasn't much space for me to study. But I always went to the library because I knew I could focus there, I could study there, and it wasn't noisy. So it's important for you to find an environment where you can actually study, so that you know that if I go here, I'm going to be productive, I'm going to be able to focus on my work. When you're preparing for exams, you need to figure out how you revise best. Do you use diagrams, flowcharts? How do you study? And it's important to use that as your primary form of studying. Now, I am not good at diagrams or flowcharts or those spider charts. I'm not good at none of that. However, one of the ways that I used to study is to write out the content over and over again until it was sunk into my head. Repetition is how I learn. So I've learned that, you know what, if I want to learn something, sometimes I have to watch a YouTube video and just keep watching it and watching it until the content goes in. You have to know how you study the best and then use that as your primary form of studying. You can use the other things as well, but know exactly what is your strongest and use that for the majority of your work. Exam preparation, one of the best things that I learned to do was use the past exam papers. Use old exam papers. They are amazing because they allow you to practice for the exam. You can set exam conditions, and as you're doing that paper, it gives you a clue of how the exam's questions are worded. And then when you're answering it, you can learn how to structure your answer, because when you go to the mark scheme, because often they've got a mark scheme, you can see where you fell down. You can see the kind of wording they want. You can see where your answer was lacking. Exam practice allows you to apply your revision to make sure that you are able to apply it correctly, because you know what? At every exam that I sat, I always felt confident. I always felt like I knew what the question was asking. But this is where I fell down sometimes. I never answered the question the way the examiner wanted it. I used to answer the questions the way that I understood it. And it's important to answer the question the way the exam scheme is marking it, because that's where the points are. It's not about you and about what you want. Learn how to do the past exam papers, because it will help you to know how to answer your own exam paper in exam conditions. The best way to know if you understand the content is to explain your answers to someone else. Best to explain your answer to someone who does not do the thing that you're studying. Because if you can explain your answer to someone who has no knowledge about it, you'll be able to know that actually I know this inside out. Being able to teach the content to someone else who has no clue about the subject is how you know that you understand it. If you explain it to someone who is revising it with you, that person already has knowledge about the topic. So obviously, even if you're wrong, they can correct you and tell you actually this is wrong, this is right. But being able to explain it to someone who doesn't have a clue about that topic And if they understand it, that's how you know you mastered that particular topic. One of the things that I did was I used to organize study groups with other people. I used to look for the strongest or the brightest people in each particular topic and ask them, can we study together? A lot of people study by themselves, but if you do that, you don't know where your blind spots are. If you are able to organize study groups with people who are better than you or who are smarter than you, you're going to be able to utilize what they know in order to improve yourself. But it's also important to offer something. If you are revising with other people, make sure that you also share the knowledge that you have. It's not nice for you to just take from other people. It's important to also give them something. If they're smarter than you, maybe go bring some drinks, buy some snacks. Be the person that organizes a workspace. Make sure that you offer something to be able to be in that group. When you're revising, when you're studying, it's important to take regular study breaks. Listen, we can all study, we can all push all the time, but taking regular study breaks will allow your brain, will allow your body to rejuvenate, to refresh, and to go again. If you just push and study and study and study, you burn out, and you burn out before even exams start. So it's important to take regular breaks, go chill out, go for a nap, watch some TikToks, whatever you do to relax, and then after a short break, come back and get back at it. Snack on brain food. A lot of people go for the fizzy drinks, they go for their crisps when they're studying. That food burns a lot of calories quickly. Listen, I'm a pharmacist, so I can share this with you. If you burn fizzy drinks, they'll give you a high sugar intake, but then it will burn out, and then you have like a sugar crash. If you drink something that's gonna steadily release energy, maybe some water, maybe some squash, maybe some fruits, they will just keep you going. They're not exciting, but they will give you energy slowly over time, and those brain snacks will actually lead to you working for longer and more effectively. Plan your exam day. Part of being successful in exams is to plan your exam day. What time are you going to wake up? When are you going to get to school? When you get there, are you going to be hanging around other people, or are you going to just arrive just in time to go in? I used to hate being around other people before exams because they're all talking about the exams, they're talking about what's going to happen, they're asking questions, and it made me so nervous and tense. So before exams, I used to just come in just before we went into the exam hall. I used to go early to school and go to the library and not go down until I was able to go into the exam hall, because I didn't want to talk about the exam with anybody else. Drink plenty of water. Water, water, water. Listen, humans, we're made up of mostly water. So your body needs 2 liters of water a day, 8 glasses of water a day. Just make sure you're well hydrated. Your brain will be able to function better, and also you'll be able to focus so much better. A lot of people ask me, how do I increase my exam performance? I'm gonna tell you in this next section of this video. It's important to increase your exam performance, and if you're able to do the simple things, you'll be able to increase your marks. Even if you're doing well, you'll be able to do even better than where you are right now. When you're revising, the number one thing that you have to do is revise the entire syllabus. A lot of people guess the syllabus. They will say, I revised this section because it came last year, and if I revise this section, then it will come again this year. Don't guess. Revise the entire syllabus. And I know it's a lot of work, but it's the only way to make sure that you know everything that can potentially come onto the exam. One of the worst things that can happen to you is if you open the exam paper and question 1 is something you didn't revise. Ooh, that will destroy your confidence just like that. You need to revise the entire syllabus to make sure that you know every little thing that they will ask of you. Practice both long and short answer questions. Don't just practice the topics that you enjoy. Practice everything. Listen, the exam paper, you can't question spot. No one knows what's going to come up. Your teachers don't know what's going to come up. Your friends don't know what's going to come up. So make sure that you're well versed or well practiced in short answers, long answers, and all kinds of answers that they can potentially ask you. This is so important. because I see it all the time. I see people thinking, oh no, I'm really good at short answers, and then they start counting their marks. Listen, don't do that. The best thing to do is to just do your best at all the questions, because you don't know which question you're going to absolutely smash. People are just counting marks, saying, if I answer half this paper correctly and half here, I'll get what I need. Don't take no gambles. Don't take any risks. Just make sure you answer every single thing on the syllabus, every single question, long and short, properly. That will ensure that at least you've done your best. That's all I want everyone to do. You won't be successful all the time, but if you've tried your best, I promise you one thing, you will always be proud of yourself. And lastly, and I'm sure I've said it before, success takes consistent preparation. Don't leave your revision to last minute. If you want to increase your performance, you have to be a consistent person. Revise consistently throughout. A lot of people leave their revision to last minute. Last minute will destroy you because you have to study and push and push and push, and you think that you're being productive, but actually you're not, because there is only so much information your brain can take on board. So really and truly, you're just wasting your time, but you feel like you're doing a lot. The people who do the best in exams are the ones that have been studying consistently throughout. My clever friends taught me this trick. They taught me that as soon as a topic is taught in school, they used to go home and make the revision notes then and there. The topic was in September, they would study it in September, make revision notes there and then by the time the exam came around, they didn't have to go back to that topic. They would just go to their revision notes and study that. And that's how they maintained their high grades. They just studied the topic and made notes on it so that when exams came, they didn't have too much to do. All they had to do was revisit the revision notes and do exam papers, and that's why they got the best marks. Now, to finish this video, I want to talk about exam technique. A lot of people approach exams differently, and what I'm going to be sharing with you is how I approach exams. Every single person does it differently. Make sure that you do what's best for you, but this is my way and I found it very, very, very useful. Good time management is the key. Use the number of marks each question is worth to guide how much time you spend on it. Don't spend too much time on short answer questions. The long answer questions have the most marks, so that's where most of your time should go. A lot of people waste so much time on one question. You have to remember that there's other questions. So each question, know that I'm going to spend X amount of time on it, and if I'm not finished, I'll move on to the next question. Don't get stuck on one question because the exam paper is big and it's full of so many marks. So just do what you can for each question, and if you got time at the end, come back. That's the key. Just manage the exam paper and don't get stuck on one question trying to figure it out. Don't rely on guesswork when answering multiple choice questions. Make sure you use your exam knowledge. Make sure that you use your revision techniques. When you're answering a question, don't guess. Don't guess. Try to answer it in the best way that you know how. If you've done enough preparation and revision, even if you don't know the answer, you'll be able to do some working out. Examiners these days, they give marks for you just doing the correct working out. So even if your answer is wrong, just apply your knowledge and work out and show the steps and show how you did it. It's all about showing what you know. And exam papers don't always just test you getting the right answer. They also want to see that you know what you're doing. Don't answer more questions than what the question asks of you. A lot of people want to show how clever they are and they ramble on writing things that the question didn't ask. Just answer what the question asked of you and then stop. Don't put in any extra information because that sometimes will lead to the examiner deducting points. Just answer the question and move on. Explain and discuss. Know what these two words mean. Explain and discuss, because questions starting with explain and questions starting with discuss are asking different things of you. So you have to know how to answer both types of questions. Don't use points raised by one question to answer another question. If question 10 said something, don't repeat it in question 15. It's not the same question. It's a different type of question. Make sure that you answer each question separately, in isolation. Just answer the question. I can't say this enough because I made this mistake so many times growing up. Just answer the question that's been asked of you. Don't bring in extra stuff that is not in the question because you will lose marks. Read each question carefully and plan your answer before writing. That will give your question and answer so much structure. It's all about structure. As much as you may get the right answer, having the right structure will get you bonus points, and it will show the examiner that you thought about it, that you know exactly why this answer is the right answer. Don't just write. Plan, 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 plan. I can't stress this enough. The more you plan, the more you prepare, even in the exam room, the better chance of you getting those higher marks that you want. Pause before answering the calculations. Make sure you understand the question. Calculations are either right or wrong, and if you haven't understood the question and you answer it incorrectly, you lose marks. And often the questions that are easiest are the ones you get wrong, and those are simple marks. Just make sure that you pause. You do have time. Don't ever think that you haven't got time in the exam room. You do have time. The key is to use that time effectively to ensure that you get the best marks possible. Lastly, and most importantly, check your work. No one enjoys doing this, but it is the most important thing for you to do at the end of exams. Check your work. Go back through the whole exam and go through each answer if you have the time. A lot of people finish the exams and they just sit there. Listen, no one enjoys checking their work, but you going over your answers with a fine-tooth comb, you may notice a mistake that you made, and that little mistake could be the difference between you getting a level higher than where you are right now. It's not a fun process after spending 2 or 3 hours in the exam room, but if you're able to do that effectively, it will change your marks so much, because sometimes when you're doing the exams, you may rush or you may be, a bit stressed. But if you're able to go back with a calm head and a calm mind, you may be able to catch your own mistakes and save yourself a few marks that can really boost your grade as a whole. I hope that you guys found this video useful. If you're unsure about anything in this video, feel free to revisit it, because I know these are the things that help me to increase my exam performance. And as a result, I am not a very clever person or bright person. I've been able to become a pharmacist just by doing whatever is in this video. And I hope that you find it useful as well. Let me know if I can do anything more to support you. I've got a YouTube channel and I've got social media on Instagram and TikTok, guys. I'm always available to support anyone that needs it. I wish you all the best for your exams. I wish you all the best in your careers, and know that you're gonna do really well.